Is the real estate market starting to bounce back? Not quite, but the market is changing. Stick around and watch till the end of this video to see what I mean. What's up everyone, it's Vazquez here, back again with another Greater Toronto Area real estate market update video where, like always, we're gonna break down the stats for the month of January for the Greater Toronto Area, and then later in the video we're gonna take a look at the stats specifically for Mississauga. If you are thinking of making a move this year, please feel free to reach out to me. You can call me, text me, email me, or book a one-on-one meeting with me. Free, no obligation consultation with me. Link is in the description below, so you can book that if you are thinking about making a move this year. Also, before we get into it, if you do find this information valuable or helpful for you at all, please just do me a huge favor and smash that like button. I would seriously appreciate it. Also, if you want to keep yourself informed on everything that's going on in the Greater Toronto Area real estate market, please consider subscribing to the channel. Let's get started with total residential transactions. There were 3,100 total sales that we saw in January, which was in line with what we saw in December. On a year-over-year basis, the total transactions reported for January were down by 44.6%, which really is just following the same trend that we've been seeing over the last several months. Sales have been down on a year-over-year basis between 40 to 45% for the last 5 or 6 months. All that is to say is that activity levels have obviously dropped from the peak, but we are seeing consistent numbers month over month. So the market is remaining pretty consistent. So looking at new listings, there were 7,688 new listings that came onto the market in January, which is a significant increase in available homes for sale compared to last month in December. The numbers actually almost doubled. So in December, there was 3,000 something listings that came on the market. Now we're at 7,600. So a lot of new listings compared to December. Now, if we look at a year-over-year basis, so comparing January of 2023 to January of 2022, we're looking at a decrease of 3.7%. So as expected, and as I mentioned in my last market update video, we were expecting to see more listings come onto the market compared to December, just because December usually is a very slow month. So although there is more inventory on a month-to-month basis, looking at the year-to-year basis, we're down 4%. So don't get me wrong when I'm saying more listings came on the market. The inventory on the market is still really low. And to put this into perspective, last year in January, the supply in the market was very low, and that's when the market was at its peak. So that this is when we were seeing crazy multiple offers, crazy homes selling for $300,000 over asking. That was the peak of the market, and it was because the supply was so low. If we look at the supply of this month, we are actually lower than we were in January of 2022. Of course, with this year, the difference is that there are less buyers on the market. So even though supply is still low, and it is low, supply is still a problem, there are less buyers, and only about 25% of the homes on the market are selling every single month. I'm gonna be putting out another video later this month talking about selling your home and what you need to be doing to make sure that you are in that 25% of homes that sell. So make sure you are subscribed if you want to catch that one. Moving on to the average selling price. The average selling price for the GTA as a whole is now just under $1,040,000. That number is down 16.4% compared to last year. So while that does sound like a pretty big drop compared to last year, you got to remember, again, that was at the peak of the market. That's when things were very crazy. So yes, 16% is a big drop, but again, the market has shifted from there. And then looking at the month-to-month differences between January and December, the average price has decreased slightly as well. So just looking at the market as a whole, just to summarize everything, the new year started out pretty much the same way as the last year ended, with sales and average selling price remaining pretty consistent with what we saw in December of 2022. And then of course, looking on a year-over-year basis, both of those metrics, sales and price, they were both down just because of the impact of the higher interest rates on the market that is expected to happen. And although we did see a significant increase in the amount of homes available for sale in January compared to December, the overall number of homes available for sale is still very low. So supply is still very low. With all that being said, we did see a shift towards the end of January. Activity in the market has definitely increased in some market segments where we started to see a lot of showings being booked, a lot of offers coming in, a few properties getting a crazy amount of offers similar to what we saw last year. So things are shifting a little bit. For example, one property we were involved with had over 300 showings in just 10 days. That's a crazy amount of showings. Another property we were involved with got 36 offers. So it does look like consumer confidence is starting to increase and there are more buyers being more active in the market. More buyers are out shopping for homes. And all of this is just to say that this could be the end of the declining prices and we could see prices start to go back up. Another thing to consider is the fact that the Bank of Canada basically did their last rate hike in January. They basically said they're not really planning to raise rates anymore, so that can definitely help with consumer confidence. And then when you take that fact and combine it with the fact that fixed mortgage rates are actually dropping and they are expected to continue dropping, this will prompt some buyers that were waiting on the sidelines to now jump back into looking, which can increase the competition if more buyers start coming out. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting that the market's gonna go haywire again, go crazy, and we're gonna see multiple offers on every single house. I'm not suggesting that. The fact of the matter is that only about 25% of homes on the market are selling every single month. So while buyer activity is increasing, I'm not saying it's gonna be crazy like it was the past 2 years. But there is an opportunity here because the homes that are priced properly and show really well are the ones that are getting multiple offers and actually selling, and usually selling for more money. And this is because inventory is still very low. So we'll just have to see how things go. I may be wrong with this perspective, but just based on what I'm seeing, what the activity levels have been like over the past couple of weeks, then coupled with the fact that mortgage interest rates are dropping, the Bank of Canada is not planning to raise rates, I do think we can be in for a pretty busy spring, and we may even start to see the average selling price inching up instead of dropping. Or we can just expect to see that this trend of more buyers entering the market continue, which would mean that activity would just pick up a little bit. Anyways, you'll just have to stick around and see what happens this year. I will be putting out another video this month with an outlook for the whole year of 2023 coming straight from the Toronto Real Estate Board. So if you want to see that, make sure you are subscribed because there will be some good information of what to expect for the rest of the year in that video. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to catch that one. Now let's move on to the market update for Mississauga. In January, there are 262 sales in Mississauga and the average price of a home is now just over $920,000. That number is 3.4% higher than last year and 5.8% lower than last month. The average price of a detached home is just under $1.4 million. That's about an $85K drop from last month. Semi-detached costs you about $960K, which is about a $5K drop from last month. The average price for a townhome is $1,045,000. That's $65K more than last month. The condo townhome average price is just under $800K, about a $20K increase from last month. And finally, a condo apartment averages in at about $625K, which is about a $15K increase from last month. We're gonna wrap this one up. I do hope you found this information valuable and informative. If you're thinking about making a move anywhere in the GTA, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to answer any questions that you have and help you out in any way that I can. You could book a one-on-one consultation with me completely free. Link is in the description below, or you can just shoot me a text, email, call me, whatever works for you. Always open to chatting. Thank you so much for watching the video. I do appreciate each and every one of you. If you found some value, please just hit that like button before you click off. Also, if you want to keep yourself informed on everything that's going on, you want to see that outlook for 2023, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks again for watching and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.